Welcome to Spiritually Speaking, the talk show for spiritual wellness with the goal to bring about personal peace, love, and joy through spiritual education. It aims to raise the consciousness and vibrations of those who seek to live a fulfilled life through acceptance and non-judgment of all religions, beliefs, and practices that are positively based in God's love and light. Welcome to Spiritually Speaking. Nolan told me I had to say this, so I want to get it right. Spiritually Speaking is proudly brought to you by TalkWad Network. So please check out all other shows on TalkWad Network at www.talkwad.com. Yay. Okay, and I'm your host, Dee Dee Lovejoy, and I have two special guests here today. My special guest is Stephen Rahm, spiritual healer. Say hello, Stephen.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And we have our friend is back in the studio today, Mary Jo McCauley.
Hey, guys.
Okay, you guys remember that Mary Jo is an angel therapy practitioner. I said it right this time. Great. And there's a reason why she's here today, so I'm so excited about that. I also want to give a shout out to Quintessence Aromatherapy and Crystal Healing, which I'm the owner of, and there's a lot of great things going on at Quintessence, and I want to just get that kind of housekeeping stuff out of the way really quickly, and then we can get on with our show. So let's see. The announcements that I have is today at 3:30, I'm doing a class on tools to manifest the heart's desires. It's at Mystical Sense, and the address is 9545 East Fowler Avenue in Thanona-Sassa. And the number there is 986-3212. If you're interested in that class, please come on out. And there's still room in the class. And we're going to be talking about how to manifest your goals for 2013. Also, in February, on February 2nd, I think you have, Mary Jo, you have a class
vision
that day.
Board building class, but it also uses the Feng Shui Bagua, which the Bagua, for anyone who knows it, it's proper placement and energy flow to really help manifest. Do a meditation, have a vision board for the rest of the year, everything that you need to manifest all of what your goals are.
So just think about that, folks. You come and take my class first, this manifesting your goals. You get all the talk stuff out of the way. And then you go and do your vision board where you can actually put the things together, and you're doing it in feng shui, so everything is going to be in its place, and we get that energy flowing, and then we can all have a very prosperous and abundant year.
Absolutely, that's what 2013 is about.
Awesome.
February 2nd for that.
February 2nd, and how can I find out about that, MJ?
Go to angelstalk.com.
Angelstalk.com. Okay, and then also coming up in February is on February 16th, I'm doing a unlock your intuition, the power of the pendulum. Okay, and the pendulum is a very ancient tool used for dowsing, and you can use it to locate lost objects, illnesses in the body, so many other things. And the great thing is Stephen is going to demonstrate today how to use the pendulum for healing today. So he's going to do that, in the middle of the hour. So you ready for that, Stephen?
Yes, not that I've been practicing like all day long, but I've been working up to this Sunday afternoon, and looking forward to it. And Mary Jo will be my subject on the table.
Excellent. Okay, so let's just get right into the show today. And the reason why I had Stephen on is because, male energy is very different than, the other energy. We have ladies on all the time and women on all the time, and, the energy is a lot subtler. And it could be strong but very subtle. But Stephen, who he is a self-proclaimed regular guy.
Yes, I am.
No, he's very modest.
I think if anybody anybody can actually do this. I discovered six or 7 years ago that I have this ability.
Before you get that,
Okay.
let's just get right into it. I'm just saying, you said that you were a regular guy. Me and Mary Jo know that that's not necessarily true. In other aspects, okay, he's a wonderful guy, ladies out there, and Stephen, you're single, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because you guys didn't know that I was also a matchmaking coach here, right? So, so for all of you ladies that are, into the, that are spiritual, into the metaphysics, and you could be dealing with a guy that doesn't get it. Here you go, right here, and the lovely British accent is just cake on, icing on the cake.
But you're also dealing with a couple mama bears here that are very protective.
That's right. That's right. So,
If I can just say one thing, with me being just like a regular guy, I have stood up at various classes and said that, being just like the regular guy, I drink, smoke, and gamble. I now don't smoke. I've actually been smoke-free for the last 2 years.
Yay. Congratulations.
But I believe I do the normal everyday stuff that, let's say, guys do. I go to football. I'm a season ticket holder to the Tampa Bay Bucks. I go out drinking. I just do normal stuff that that everybody does. I just discovered that I had this ability.
It is normal things because you are human, and you do normal things. But what I've learned about you is that you have an extraordinary gift, and that's what we're here to talk about today. With all kidding aside, everybody, we're kidding, but Stephen is a very powerful healer. So tell us from the beginning, how did you discover this gift that you have now?
My story goes back probably 6 years or so. I had just got divorced, and my father had just become sick within the last couple of months in this time period. Mm-hmm. And my ex-wife was at the time very much into readings and spiritual stuff, and at that particular time I wasn't, but now I was on my own doing my own thing, and my father was taken ill, and it was maybe it's time for me to go have a spiritual reading. I've always heard about it, always had read some stuff about it.
So you've never had one before?
Prior to 6 years ago, no,
okay.
Not at all. And
so what at this time was this because your life was changing?
Yes, yeah,
you
very
felt
much
like
so.
you needed some guidance at that time?
Yeah, very much so. It was, I don't say that I was lost, but it was because I knew some stuff about it, because my ex-wife had, always been involved. Mm-hmm. It was, well, maybe it's my time to go see what this stuff is really all about, and maybe I can be told something, whether it be about my father or, what exactly will his circumstances, be, and maybe they can tell me some stuff about myself that I really don't know. So, then it was, okay, who am I going to go see? So at that particular time, the only person that I knew that was spiritual, that was a psychic stroke medium, was my very good friend Mary Jo. So at the time, I literally just picked up the phone to her and I said, I'd like to come and have a reading. And I think she fell off her chair at the time.
I did.
She was probably...
Well, MJ did. Why?
Why? Because here's this entrepreneurial businessman, English dude, who never showed any interest in this, and he calls me up and says, I want a reading. I used to be his personal trainer. I want a reading. And yes, you could have knocked me over with a feather.
Okay. But you know that when people are ready...
Exactly.
Yeah, and Stephen, you're ready. And also I read in your bio that you were having dreams.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
I had a recurring dream, probably for, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years prior, and it was the same thing. I don't say that it was every night, but I probably woke up 4 to 5 nights out of 7 with this saying in my head of, "Can you feel it?" And really didn't know for some considerable time what that really meant. Mm-hmm. Can you feel it? Can I feel what? And then eventually, continuing on from the story here, I then could feel it, and I'll go into that just in a second. And I've not had the dream since because now I obviously can feel it. But it was so I had gone to see Mary Jo. It was
right.
a Saturday afternoon. And my hour turned into, I think it was probably 2 hours. having my reading, and Mary Jo told me some stuff about my grandfather, my father's father. You know, she described him almost down to the clothes that he was wearing. I actually have a family photograph that a couple of days later I actually rushed over to see her. I said, "Is this the person that you saw?" And it was, you know, it was my father's father. You know,
So how were you feeling then? Were you surprised or happy or?
I think I was a bit taken aback at the time.
Okay.
You know, as much as I had known Mary Jo, she was my personal trainer. There was only so much stuff that she knew about me. You know, there was no reason for her to know about my grandfather.
Okay.
Of his stature, his size, that he had no hair, and so on and so forth. So, could she have known a couple of things about me? The answer is yes. But could she known some stuff about my grandparents? Absolutely not. You know, there was no way. So I was very pleased with my reading, and then I'm then on her like email list, and a week or so goes by, or 2 weeks, whatever the number was at the time, and Mary Jo then is doing a angel class on a Saturday afternoon, and I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll go. What have I got to lose?
You know, I've had this amazing reading, and I've been having this dream. Maybe,
Right.
and things are changing in my life.
Exactly.
So
it was. My journey then was like just about starting. And
had your dad passed already?
No. My dad was still very much alive, going through some stuff, and I think it was at the time of actually having the reading. It was also to put me at some ease of knowing, how long does he have, or is he going to like live to 105, whatever whatever that number would be. So Mary Jo definitely put me at ease with stuff that she was telling me. She did pick up on my father at the time, but it was also the other things that came in, which was my grandparents, and which was really, it brought things home to me very specifically. It was, this was about me and my family. It wasn't stuff that was just picked out of the air.
I understand.
So she did a great job. Well done.
So, and the reason why I'm asking about that is because some people, they come and have readings, and they just go on with their regular lives. There's nothing that changes with them. It sounds like you were going through a transformation at this time.
Well, I think, and I'm going to jump a little bit further forward, because Mary Jo also knows my ex-wife, and there was a time period, I think probably maybe a year or so after all of this actually came out, that Mary Jo was in contact with Randy, my ex, and Randy had actually said to her, it's why has all this come out with Stephen? This was never, this never came out when we were married, and I was married for like 9.5 years. And Mary Jo's answer at the time, which I think was correct, I was so involved in stuff in my business at the time. I was involved in my marriage, which obviously, was going downhill dramatically. I didn't have time to think about anything that was spiritual.
I see.
Now, at this particular juncture, like in my life, I had sold my business. I got divorced. I had nothing to think about. It was, or I had gambling. I mean, I went to Vegas,
But you still had the smoking, drinking.
Right, at that particular time.
Smoking, drinking, gambling, that's
right,
what the three things are.
And not necessarily in that order.
Okay.
So, but at this particular juncture, I was divorced. I had taken a few months off from business because there was just so much stuff that had actually gone on. And I went to Vegas in that 12-month period. I went to Vegas, I think, 7 or 8 times. Had a blast, So it was, my mind was, there wasn't all the junk in there from everyday stuff. I was able to think.
MJ wants to say something.
You, like many people, at least the way I see this, you were in a major transition,
Yes.
but you were open to seeing Wow, because that's the only way everything else could have evolved is if you were open enough
That's right.
during that transitional
Yeah.
period. Because transitions are often what get people's attention.
That's right.
But it's like then they have a choice. Do you want to learn more or not? And you had the transition, you had the open time, and you went for it.
And
Right.
look, he had Vegas or spirituality. Vegas.
I did both. I did
does
both.
both.
It was so.
Okay.
With Mary Jo's class.
Uh-huh.
So this was probably like turned out to be maybe like a month later. So I go to the class, and it was she had billed it as a 4-hour or 4.5 hour like angel class, and I thought I'm going to go. What have I got to lose? You know, I've got nothing to lose. So I go, and I'm the only guy there. There's like a dozen women or so. Plus, also there, Jack Moon was also there.
Two guys.
Like two guys. And so the first few hours, Mary Jo was talking about the angels and archangels and like giving the hierarchy of, you know, what goes on and, you know, and with my own like religious upbringing, I knew a little about the angels, didn't know a great deal. And so towards the end of her 4-hour class, we start to do 1 or 2 exercises of feeling energy, bringing in the angels. Not that I really knew at that particular time what I was doing. So one of the exercises that she had us actually do, we partnered off, everybody partnered off with somebody, and we did a body scan. And so you had somebody stand in front of you, and you put your arms out like over their body, you know, like back and front, and started down at the head, and then you moved. You just brought your hands down, and in my particular case at the time, I was working with this lady. Can't remember what her name was.
Susie.
Susie, thank you. And I got just underneath her bust line. I mean, I wasn't touching her. I was 6 to 8 inches away, and all of a sudden, my hands are on fire. I mean, I've gone from, I don't say cold, but I've gone from feeling nothing to all of a sudden there's like a lightning rod that's going through this woman's body, and I'm thinking to myself, what's just happened, you know? And I moved away, went down to her ankles, and there was nothing. Moved back up, got just underneath her bust line again, and again my hands were on fire.
Did anybody tell you that could happen, or was just
No, it was Mary Jo didn't preempt anything that you may feel something. It was just, we're going to do a body scan to see whether you can feel the energy. If anything happens, like put your hand up and say, you know, something. So I was at the time, I was just floored. You know, it's like, what's this? So Mary Jo then sort of like jumped in at the time, and you can now feel the energy. You can feel something's going on with this lady Susie. There was an issue that she had. And
so the energy just turned on for you.
For me, it was just it was like a light bulb that just went off. It was if I moved my hands away, there was nothing. If I stayed there, my hands were just pulsating with the energy that was just radiating from this lady's body, back and front.
So how were you feeling at that time that was happening to you?
Well, we discussed it afterwards, and it was, you can now feel the energy, and it was with like Jack Moon that was also there, like the Reverend Jack Moon, who's also a very well-known psychic stroke healer. Both MJ and Jack had actually said, you are a healer. And it's like, okay.
It's like, I was just, I'm asking you this because how does a regular guy react to, now I'm a healer and I can feel this energy, my hands are on fire, and, how do you go from Vegas to I'm a healer?
He was in a safe space to have it happen. It wasn't like, and he was being judged or anything else because he'd spent a day with these people and everybody was doing the same thing. And I didn't want to give him a preemptive, if anybody feels anything, let me know.
Okay.
Because that way, let it come through. When Jack walked into the room before, he goes, man, he's a powerful healer. And I said, yeah, I know. He goes, no, I mean, he's really powerful. And I said, yes, I've got that, Jack. I know that too. he says, well, does he know? And I said,
Not
Jack,
yet.
He's
not
working.
yet. Let him find out
Yeah.
on his own.
Yeah.
And he did by the end of the
Yeah.
day, because Susie had a remarkable change
Yeah.
immediately.
So he found the issue and he was able to heal the issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that time, not really knowing what I was doing,
Yeah.
and had spoken to her afterwards, and she goes canoeing, or she had gone canoeing at the time, and she had strained a muscle, of doing the like using the paddle, and she had hurt herself, and that's what I had actually picked up on. But I'd never seen this woman prior to. I've only ever seen her once afterwards. I did actually do some healing work on her a couple of months later. But it blew me away. I think as it would blow anybody else away, really.
So has this changed your life?
Yeah, probably quite dramatically. It took a little while for it to sink in, because now I've got Mary Jo and Jack telling me you're a healer, you're a powerful healer, and it's like, okay, I'm just.
Did you believe them?
Well, I knew something was there. It's when all of a sudden you suddenly feel it. It is. When I say that I'm a normal, let's say, regular, everyday guy, if I tell you that I can feel something, or even now, because I have, let's say, further developed, that I hear things and I see things, if I'm telling you that I can feel it, you should believe me that, because I consider myself to be this normal, everyday guy, if I can feel it, then yes,
Yeah.
it's there.
Okay, I understand.
There are no,
You're normal.
there are no
Yeah.
stories here. There's nothing that I either need to hide or to blow out of proportion. But can I feel it? And can I see things now? 1,000% yes.
So did that tie the dream in for you?
Yes. Yeah. That was.
Did you know that was the answer to the dream at that
That
time?
was. Very quickly. Because I've not had that dream, since, and I've not had any other ones that have been, let's say, preemptive like this. The only thing at the particular time, as much as I had Mary Jo and Jack telling me you're a healer, you're a powerful healer, it's like I need to go get a second opinion.
Okay.
It's like
Okay, my hands are on fire. I just healed this lady's
Muscle.
arm strain or whatever it was, but I think I need a second opinion.
right. It's like
Her
anything.
intercostal muscles were a mess. I just healed that. Okay, I need a second opinion to see if this
Right.
really just happened.
My initial reaction was here, am I crazy? It's because I, again, not to, like too much repeat myself, but it's this just isn't normal. Or maybe this now becomes the normal for me,
Yes.
and I've got to go and find somebody else that can give me what I'm looking for.
Some
It's
confirmation.
some
maybe,
confirmation,
yeah.
right.
Or saying, they're just, so what did you get?
Well, I thought I should travel the same path of how I really got to Mary Jo, is to go and have another spiritual reading with somebody that doesn't know me, that doesn't know me from Adam. So I had found Corrine in South Tampa. She's moved from the place than where she was, and I had to wait. As much as I booked my appointment, I had to wait. I think it was 2.5 to 3 weeks. She was that busy, I just couldn't get in to see her. So I think it was a Tuesday afternoon that my appointment was, and I had booked an hour, and just didn't give any information to the young lady that I actually booked the appointment with, just to the point of I'd like to have a spiritual reading, and that's it, So they knew nothing else of why I was coming. Wasn't looking for any family information, just some guys come in.
Tell them the first thing that she said.
Right. So I walk into like Corrine's little room, and we say hello, and literally the first thing that she says to me is, "You do realise you're a healer?" And I said, "Well, actually, that's the whole reason.
That's why I'm here. Hello.
That's the whole reason that I'm here." And we just spent the next hour, talking about stuff, and she corrected me because one of my words to her at the time was that I've got this power. And man, she slapped me down so fast that it was, and she really put me, like in my place. That it's not a power. I've been blessed
it's a gift
with
and an ability.
right,
Yeah.
very much so. And I have now, from that day forward, very much realised that it is an ability, and I've embraced it, very much. And I talk to the angels, and I am a conduit for them, and they work through me. So it's not my choice of. I can't choose whether somebody gets healed or not. It's not for me to get in the way. And whatever happens when I work on somebody happens. 9 times out of 10, depending, let's say, what they've come for, they have been helped in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, before we go in a little further, I want to give out the number to the show. So if you want to ask a question or say hello, the number is 813-639-TALK. 813-639-8255. So you got your confirmation, and now you believe it. You are a spiritual healer. And just looking at your information and your background, so spiritual healer, what is that? Besides having confirmation, what did you do to kind of, get all your skills together? Did you take any kind of formal training or anything like that?
Well, in the beginning, after seeing like Corrine and having my confirmation, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Where do I go? Who do I speak to? So I went back to Mary Jo, and Mary Jo's been a mentor of mine now for the last 6 years or so. And she immediately, took me under her wing, and it was, okay, now you've got this ability, now you've got to, put it to work and work on people.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first short while, she would call me up and say, she has a client coming, why don't you come over to the house? And let's see what happens. So it is, once once I found out that I could feel stuff, she had clients, on her massage table, and I'd literally walk around and I would scan this person, and suddenly find, there's an area here, there's an area there.
He's going to demonstrate what he means by scanning in a few minutes. So you would scan.
Yeah, it's I would be drawn to a certain part of a person's body, and I would either be, I would be right, that I would find something.
So we're gonna just take a small break. We have a phone call. Welcome to Spiritually Speaking. Who's on the line?
Hi, this is Bruce, and I just wanted to say that I'm enjoying your radio show. I've been listening here for about 2 months now, and you really have some interesting topics.
Well, thank you. Thank you for listening, Bruce. I really appreciate your spending your Sunday afternoons with us. Did you have any questions for any of the guests today? Or are you just saying hello?
No, not really any questions. I just wanted to say hello and say I thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God bless.
God bless you too. Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Stephen? And then we're going to do 2 more minutes of talking here, and then we're going to do a short meditation while Stephen and Mary Jo get set up, and they're going to demonstrate, just how Stephen does a healing. You can't feel the energy. Maybe you can. We're going to... Go ahead.
Don't block that as a possibility.
Don't block that as a possibility.
Because when you do any of this work, it has nothing to do with distance or time.
That's true.
And you may be really surprised that you get something, even though it's through the electronics. I'm serious.
You're right.
Happen.
You're right. It's just seeing it done. Okay, let me rephrase this. In just a few moments, we're going to do a short meditation, and then Stephen is going to do a healing on Mary Jo, and then we're all going to tap into that energy.
There you go.
Okay. And, the meditation is going to get us ready for that. So just another quick station thing, Spiritually Speaking is proudly brought to you by TalkWad Network, and it's www.talkwad.com. Go in and see all the shows that are there. Also go to oilsandstones.com and check out all the things on Quintessence. The number to the show is 813-639-TALK. 813-639-8255. And Stephen is going to show us some of his healing ability, and so let's all tap into that, and then when he's back, we can finish chatting with him some more.
Okay, look forward to it.
Okay. So let's all get into a nice quiet place if you can, and do our we're going to do a short healing meditation. So we'll begin by finding a comfortable, relaxed position, and just start with some nice deep breaths, and allow your body to begin to relax. And breathe in for 4 and out for 4. In, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, and 4. Just allow your body to relax and close your eyes. Your entire body is now relaxed and calm. Feel the relaxation flowing throughout your body from your head to your feet. And focus your attention now on your body and think about the feeling and about the healing that needs to take place, that's going to take place here today. You might want to imagine or think of any problem in your body that may have gone on, anything that's been giving you trouble. And when Stephen is sending out the energy to Mary Jo, just have him send it out to the universe as well. See the light of relaxation flowing through your body. Direct the light of healing and relaxation toward any dark area. Your body has many ways of healing itself. And see the relaxation promoting your immune system and promoting strength and promoting growth of healthy tissue, removing unhealthy matter from your body, removing toxins and bacteria or waste, just cleaning up your body. Breathe in health and breathe in calm. Breathe out tension and illness with any problems in your body. And allow the light, healing, relaxation to continue swirling around the dark areas. And see them getting smaller and smaller. And imagine these dark areas completely enveloped by relaxation. And see the healing relaxation making these areas lighter and lighter, carrying away anything that is not good for your body. And imagine your immune system working to heal you. And picture the cells you need going to the places they need to go, working as needed to heal your body. And picture your body entirely filled with relaxation. See the problem areas being healed, become even lighter, filled with relaxation that's being carried away or carrying away any discomfort. Feel the healing light and allow your body to heal itself. Taking in a cleansing breath and breathe out what your body doesn't need. Breathe in relaxation and breathe out all old air. Relax for a few moments and imagine the healing process going on inside your body. Feeling confident in your body's ability to heal itself. and feeling calm and at peace. And now when you return, your body feels more alive. You feel more at peace. And just come back into the room and feel your body and mind becoming more aware of your surroundings. And when I count to 3, we're ready to tap into the energy that Stephen is sending out to all of us. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Hope you're in a nice, relaxed state. We'll have Stephen just come on and demonstrate to us what he does in his healing process. So I'm going to talk to you from over here, Stephen. Okay, so you can just go on and just tell us what you do and proceed at any time.
Okay. When I start on any patient that comes to see me, I would typically counsel them first and ask them why they've come to see me, whether it's been a referral or whether they just found me and they've actually come to see me. So they're more than likely they're going to tell me the whole reason.
I want you to get a little closer to the mic.
The whole reason that they have actually come to me is that there are some aches and pains somewhere. So what I would then do is, with my hands, first of all, I'm going to scan the body, literally from head to toe, to see if I'm going to pick up on the area that they've actually told me. They may have come to me because they have strained a muscle here in the hip or the thigh, or they've got some other aches and pains.
Okay.
Also, typically, what will also happen is that if there is something else that is going on, I will find that particular area. So I'm just going to show you, and hopefully you can see here on camera, how I would actually do this. So
okay.
First of all, I have to center myself, and as I call it, I have to get in the zone so I can really feel what's going on with the individual. So just bear with me just for 1 second. So now I'm in my little world, in my little zone, and I'm going to move my hands over Mary Jo's body. And I'm going to be scanning with my hands, and I'm going to be picking up or not on certain areas that I think that she has an issue with.
Is that what you call scanning, what
Yes.
you're doing right now?
Yes.
Okay. So you're doing it with the hand and you're feeling, because you're able to feel energy through your hands. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
So how long does a scanning process normally take, Stephen?
I can do it as quick as I've done it just now, and the area that I feel over Mary Jo's, her right hip here, I feel some energy, some heat that is resonating. Now whether she has anything that is going on down there, I'm not sure. She'll tell us here in a second. But I feel over, just coming off her hips onto the side of her right thigh, I'm picking something up.
When you say something, what does that mean?
For me, when I say something, it is, I can be, for argument's sake here, I can be over her knees and feel nothing. So when I come back to over her hip area,
Okay.
there is how I would describe it, the energy has been disturbed. Something within her body is twisted, or there's just something.
It just feels different. So you might feel nothing on your hand, and then you feel something.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And then also, like the body is made up of like 7 main like energy centers, the chakras. So what I would also do, apart from doing the actual body scan that I've done like just now, I would also use my pendulum to see if her chakra system is either, as I call it, as we call it, let's say open or closed, to see whether she's balanced. If all of her energy centers, or anybody's energy centers, if they're all open, then you should be, full of the joys of spring. Everything should be great. You shouldn't be suffering from any sort of issues.
Sure.
But typically, when I go in and work on someone, there are 1 or 2 chakras that may not be fully open, whether it's the crown at the head, the third eye. I always love for the heart chakra to be working, because then I think, if it's not, sometimes there may be, some other issues going on. But I would check all of them, and then when I come back to do some healing work, I'm going to concentrate on the chakras that are either closed or not moving, spinning fast enough.
Okay, so you first start out with the body scan, and you see where the energy feels different.
Correct.
And then you go over the energy centers, the chakras. And are you going to do that right now with your pendulum?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to watch a pendulum demonstration right now.
So I'm going to start off at the crown chakra. Now, typically what happens if the chakra is working normally, then it's going to be spinning clockwise. And Mary Jo's crown chakra is, I would say, is almost closed. There is just nothing going on. And I know that she's had some stuff go on over the last few days, because we discussed it before we actually came here.
So if you have headaches or migraines or stress, would it show up there in your crown chakra? Would that be sort of a block? And because normally, if it's okay, what would the swing in the pendulum look like?
Well, hopefully we will see here on some of her others. Here we go for her third eye. Now this is open, and my pendulum is moving in the right direction, in a clockwise direction. Hopefully you can all see that.
Yes.
Then I'm going to move down to her throat chakra. And again, this one is closed. Just my pendulum's not really moving in the right direction, or any direction. Now we're going to move to the heart chakra. And she's breathing well.
So the heart chakra governs the lungs. Is that what you're saying? And she's breathing in the heart?
Yeah, I just like to put it, if obviously if anybody has some heart issues, you've got some heart issues. So I always like to look at it, regardless of who I'm working on, that I always like for the heart chakra to be, working. I think we all, let's say, come from the heart, or we need to actually come from the heart of, let's say, how we perceive things and what we do and how we treat other humans, our friends, our family, our loved ones. And if things come directly from the heart, and life should treat you well.
Okay.
So I always like for the heart chakra to be nice and open, and lots of love energy can be passed through the heart, from one person to the other, which is how you can transfer, the energy, which is how I also transfer the energy. So just moving on to her others. She's a bit closed here as well. Then moving down to the root chakra. It's open but barely. So emotionally, she's probably had some stuff go on here over the last few days, which I know that she actually has. So if I can very quickly, like, go and,
Do your thing. And
do
we're all
my
going to
thing.
tap into this.
and then we'll see afterwards whether what myself and my friends have actually done here,
Okay.
whether her chakra system has reopened, and if it has, she should feel a little better than what she's felt before. So just bear with me for 2 minutes. There might be
Okay.
a little bit of silence. If you want to talk, that's please do.
Okay.
So I'm just going to again recenter myself. And for Mary Jo's highest and best interest, I'm going to ask the angels to come in, and especially Archangel Raphael to come in and work through me for her highest and best interest.
So, guys, when you see Stephen shaking that way, it's the energy that's moving his body. He's so tapped into to feeling the energy that it, so powerful that it moves him. And again, he's doing, it's sort of a scanning, but he's with intention. And you heard us talk about intention before. With a lot of intention, he and his natural ability for healing to actually move out blocks, energy blocks, and get those chakras clear and clean and moving like they should be. See what he's doing now, just moving the energy out. Moving out blocks, smoothing auras. Now, normally when you come to a healing session, you don't see what's being done to you. So this is great for people who've never been to a healing touch or Reiki or other types of healing. It's most of them are typically this way. Some of them are hands-on, but Stephen does a hands-off approach. Stephen, do you ever do hands-on?
Yes, I do.
Okay. But a lot of healers, like Stephen, actually can feel the energy much better when they're above it or outside of it, outside of the aura. So what are you doing right now, Stephen, with your hands?
Well, I can feel, again, leading off from Mary Jo's right hip, moving through into her tummy area. There's just, I'm extracting, pulling out, I don't say dark
Things that
liquid,
shouldn't be there.
but it's just, and I think she can feel it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all can tap into this, and all the healing that's going to Mary Jo, I ask that it be sent out to the universe and to anyone who needs it. I know I'm feeling it here. And if you're the one that's lying on the table, just be open. There's no reason to be, afraid or anxious about anything. Just relax and receive. Okay, what are you doing now, Stephen?
Right, I'm going to recheck to see how she is with my pendulum.
Okay.
There are no guarantees, but I think we may have done something.
Okay.
So again, starting out at the crown chakra. And now I've got movement.
Oh, I see that. Wow, what a difference.
Prior to, there was nothing.
Yes.
Coming to her third eye. This one was open before, but it's now swinging
A lot wider.
Right.
Yes.
Her throat chakra before was closed. And now it's not. And she's going to be talking all afternoon now.
And folks, for the people that don't know how dowsing and pendulums work with the subconscious mind, and it taps into our higher self. So it's a great tool to let us know what's going on, because it's communicating with our higher self and with source energy to kind of, to let us know what's going on. Some of the things that we aren't able to articulate ourselves, or our spirit guides may not be able to show us. We actually see it through, a tool, a really helpful tool like the pendulum. So we see that there's a lot of movement in there. So I think they're all functioning now. Is that right?
Just except for the one that is just
The sacral or the second chakra?
yes.
Uh-huh.
So,
But that's where you said you had the hip. You saw the hip
Right,
thing.
which is-
Okay.
So if we give me another 30 seconds, let me see what
You got 30 seconds.
I'm serious.
What is Mary Jo saying?
She can feel that something is attached to her.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I've got full movement here.
I see the movement.
So she's good to go.
She's good to go.
So we should now ask Mary Jo how she felt before and how she feels now.
I feel a lot calmer. The last couple of days have been emotionally challenging. I've gotten a lot of really bad news, and I haven't been able to talk about it to anybody, including the people that are going through some of it. So, yeah, throat chakra shut down. Do I want any more information? Not so much.
Okay. So we're going to get you guys to move. Is there anything else that you need to do on the table now?
No,
So
she's
we're going to
done.
get you guys to move back over here and talk and actually
Okay.
talk about the healing. Okay. So come on over. And thank you for that, Stephen. I think we all, we felt that energy out there. So and if you were able to feel it out there too, please call us and talk about it. You can get in touch with Stephen at 813-786-0234. 813-786-0234 if you want to ask Stephen any questions about the type of spiritual healing that he does, or if you want to set an appointment with him, you can contact him by going to Stephen, that's STEVEN .rom@me.com. Stephen.rom@me.com. So while we're getting the cameras turned back around over here, Mary Jo is just, kind of looking really relaxed.
Wackerdoodle.
Yeah, wackerdoodle, as she says. And one of the things I noticed that, Stephen, when you were in the zone and I was asking you questions, sometimes it took a minute for those words to form.
Right. It's I can get into the zone very quickly. So when you're in the zone, I don't say that you're not listening to like the outside stuff, but
Yeah.
I am. Even though this was for, let's say, demonstration, it was still very much real and still very much alive of me actually working on Mary Jo, getting her chakra system, back to where it should be. So she should feel better now than what she felt like prior to. Obviously, she's the only one that can actually, confirm that one way or the other. But I know with what I've done in a very short space of time, from just looking at the pendulum, it wasn't moving. Now it is.
Yeah, I saw it, and it was, yeah, I saw it. It was amazing. It was like nothing all the way down. And then, as soon as back on her crown chakra, and it's just started moving all the way down. So it's, and I actually did feel the energy too. I had to make myself talk because I was feeling
The energy.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're, if you've had a healing before, then you know that it just kind of takes you down to this state of receiving. I like that, the state of receiving, where you don't worry about anything. You're not worrying about anything, and trying to talk through that sometimes is a little difficult. So, Stephen, tell us about. I know there's a couple of different trainings that you've done. Right. You have your natural ability that was discovered at this the angel
class.
Angel class. So, and then you talked about having angels as your guides to help you with the healing.
Correct.
And I noticed that you called him Archangel Raphael there.
Well, he's like the actual healing magnet. So, if you're going to call on like anybody, it should be Archangel Raphael, because he is the like the healing angel. Uh-huh. But from where I started, after, just to continue, my journey, my story here, is that after I had seen Corrine, it's like, okay, I'm not crazy, and so where do I go from here? So after talking with Mary Jo and doing some stuff with her, she sort of sent me out into the world to find my own way.
Go fly,
fly, little bird.
Which I would have liked to. Been told, if you do this, you'll get to the next level, and if you do that, you'll go even further. So I think at the time there wasn't anything that's really, written on what you do and how, and
because you have to find your own way.
Right. So, and I think things, once you get into this, there are no coincidences. Things really do happen for a reason. So I take the Tampa Trib, and there was a flyer in the Trib from St. Joseph's Hospital here in Tampa. Mm-hmm. And so I read through the flyer, and in one little section there was this thing about healing touch, and there was healing touch level 1 that was, I think, going to be in the April of 06 or 07, and I thought, this sounds as though what I have discovered that I'm actually doing. So I made the phone call, and I spoke to a lovely lady called Tammy Dragle, who is the coordinator of the Healing Touch program at St. Joseph's Hospital in Tampa. And she and I must have chatted for probably 20 or 30 minutes on the phone, me telling her what I had discovered that I had. And all of a sudden now there's a very similar type of class and course that I could actually take in the real hospital setting. So I signed up for the first one, and it was an eye-opening situation that it's not just about it wasn't just about me, that there are other people out there that also feel the energy, and there's a proper documented course that has 5 levels, and you come out with like accreditation at the end of it.
And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about on this show, is that, for a lot of us light workers and energy healers, we do it outside of Western type of medicine and outside of, mainstream hospitals, but it's catching on. And there's a couple of hospitals here in town in the Tampa Bay area where they are doing this kind of energy work, and one of them is Healing Touch.
Correct.
And you were able to take that training and actually work on patients in the hospital.
Yeah,
so can you tell us about that?
Once you've actually taken through level 1, if you wanted to volunteer within the actual hospital at St. Joseph's, and providing Tammy thinks that you're up to it, then you will be allowed to go volunteer your services of what you've actually learnt through through level 1 on Healing Touch. For the most part, we have all worked in the cancer unit.
Okay.
And it's
where it's very much needed.
Yes, it is, but they don't portray it as a healing energy process.
Because they can't yet.
because they can't yet. So it is, whenever we talk to a new patient and we tell them that it is a relaxation program, doesn't cost you anything. All we like you to do is just lay there in your bed, and it takes about 10-15 minutes, and we're just going to do some stuff, and we'll talk to you afterwards, and you'll tell us how you feel. And So it does with what we do, and even like with Mary Jo just now, even she said that she felt much more relaxed than what she did prior to actually laying on the
I can
table.
see her relaxed, much more relaxed than it was.
And
so I can imagine what you do in a hospital setting.
Right.
For
So when we do it within the hospital setting, we don't speak about religion. We don't speak about angels. It's purely just a relaxation,
Sure.
process. And then whatever we've learned, with whichever level that you're actually through on the Healing Touch, I'm certified through to level 3, and there are 5 in total. So I've taken what I've learned over the last 5 or 6 years, and when I've worked on a patient within the actual cancer unit, I'm doing something very similar to what I did with Mary Jo. That I put my hands over the patient's body to feel what I can feel, and I have set the intention, even though that they're there because they have cancer of some description. The intention is to make them feel relaxed and make them feel slightly better, even though they're taking medications and they may be wired up to all sorts of different machinery. It is our job as the volunteers is to make these people relaxed, and whatever else happens, if anything happens, then it's a huge bonus to
Got it.
To the patients there within the cancer unit.
Now, have you got any feedback from any of the patients on after having done this technique with them?
As much as we are trained in either level 1 through 5, before they will allow you to actually go into the actual cancer unit, Tammy then and the staff also train you, because we are allowed to write in the person's medical records. So we will write what we've actually done, which would be, let's say, hands in motion, a pass through. We would actually write this, and we would also write that the patient on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10 on a pain level, especially like being in the cancer unit, on the pain level of 10 being drastic and 1 being very good. We would also write down what the person's pain level was at the beginning, and then at the end of this, it can be 10, 15, 20 minute session.
I think that's amazing that they're whatever they call it. I don't care what you call it. It's still you're still using energy to go in and help someone feel better, and the fact that they're respecting this type of work, and you're actually getting in to write it on their medical chart. I think it's much respect for it, and I love that. So we're almost out of time. Real quick, I want to give out your information again. Is your phone number again is
813-786-0234, and my email is Stephen with a V .rom@me.com.
And MJ, since you're feeling really relaxed again, please give out the information again about your class in February.
February 2nd, vision board class using the Feng Shui Bagua. February 2nd, and you can go to www.angelstalk.com.
Also, Mary Jo, you've been hearing Stephen talk a lot about the Angels class, and Mary Jo did one in November. I think it was in November, in September. She's going to be doing another one, and Stephen actually did a demonstration and a healing at that weekend Gateway event, and there's going to be another one coming up this spring where Mary Jo and Stephen will be there doing their thing again. So that's one of the events that Stephen has coming up. So please don't miss it. Please stay tuned to Spiritually Speaking, and I'll have all the information about that. So while we're still waiting, I noticed that you've done some matrix energetics work and some theta healing work. Just quickly, can you go through with how you use those?
After doing Healing Touch, it's like, what else is actually out there? So Mary Jo and I actually last April, we took a class that was being held in Fort Lauderdale by Dr. Richard Bartlett, and with the matrix energetics. And when you go through all of these and you start taking various people's classes, my own personal opinion, when it comes down to it, everybody's more or less doing the same thing. They're just doing it in a different way.
Right.
It's it's all in their own theme, and whatever you end up taking, from this, whether it be healing touch, the matrix energetics, theta healing, or Reiki, or something like this. It's you. We all do the same thing. You're all trying to heal somebody, and you're all taking the energy that that you can feel. And so whether it's healing touch, feeling it this way, or matrix energetics telling you to do it this way.
That's right.
You're still, for me, and also for Mary Jo, because I know for a fact, because we were both there, it was like, okay, well,
I felt this energy before.
Right. We do this. There is,
Yeah.
I've taken these other courses to try and make more light bulbs go off in my own brain. And as much as I've enjoyed taking the courses, it's, I think my light bulbs have gone off, and it's now going to be through time and experience, and with the help of the angels, if they, come more into me, or I get more into them, then, things will get bigger and better.
Great. And I love that you call it spiritual healing, because that's what it is.
Right.
That's what that's what it is. No matter how many courses you've taken. I heard Mary Jo say, if I take another class,
Yeah.
Because, at a certain point you reach your, you reach the pinnacle of, okay.
There's a lot of different
yeah.
modalities.
Yes.
That's another tool in your belt. That's great. But no matter what, and this is my true belief on this, is the fact that whatever modality you use, once you call in the angels, it will increase your ability.
Absolutely.
It'll make it so much, just calling them in to help you with whatever way works best for you.
Right.
It's all techniques. I have learned different handheld techniques with healing touch. I've learned different handheld techniques and different ways to, let's say, bring the energy in through like the matrix energetics. Theta healing, again, is I don't say that it's out there, but it is on the right-hand side, I think is one way to put it. So it's, if you can take, from my own point of view, if I was to take 6 different classes, I'm going to take a little bit from here.
Yes.
I'm going to take a little bit from over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a lot from from this particular side, because I really resonate with it, and I'm going to put it into my own sphere of what I do and how I do it. I have even said to Tammy at St. Joe's, I consider myself to be a bit of a maverick. It's as much as the classes are taught very like technically wise, I'm taking a bit here and a bit there, and it works for me.
I have to concur. I haven't done a straight Reiki healing in forever.
Yeah.
The only time I do a straight Reiki healing is if I'm teaching it. I'm teaching it because this is the traditional way to teach it, and I want you to go away with it. But when I do my healings, do I do that?
Yeah.
I do what I'm told to do.
Right.
Do what I'm told to do. Just tapping in, to my spirit guides and my angels. And sometimes, and I know you've said this, we've seen you with your arms out like this.
I'm just
holding
feeling
energy.
Right. It's you are definitely guided. I think when you're at our sort of level here, that you've been doing it for some sort of time, you are definitely guided of what you're supposed to be doing and how you're doing it for the individual that you're actually working on. Whether my hands would be 6 feet out, or whether I'm very centered and I'm because there is some acute pain somewhere, or I feel some acute energy, then I'm going to focus my energy over that one particular area. So it's you learn over this time period of where you're actually drawn to. And I've had, most people that you work on, all cases are pretty unique. And in the beginning, I've had my hands out over somebody, and I've moved away, and all of a sudden, I have physically felt I've been pushed back. And I've tested it. I've thought to myself, well, that's strange. I can feel a presence pushing my fingers, and I thought, I'm going to test the system here. So I've moved away,
because that's what guides do,
Right, and
they test things.
Right, and I've been pushed back. It's like, okay, well, I'm obviously meant to be here for the next 2, 3, 5, 6 minutes, whatever, holding my hands on this particular part of this person's body. And again, this is why I've always come back to, I am your regular sort of guy. If I can feel that I'm being pushed in one direction or another, I'm being pushed in one direction or another.
You guys, I forgot to give out to you, and I want to give out to you now. Stephen has a wonderful website where you can go and get all the information about his background, the things that he talked about today. And you can contact him, when you're ready for your own spiritual healing. His website is stephenrahm.wix.com. Stephen Rahm, it's all one word, .wix.com is his website. And, that pretty much does it for us today, folks. Thank you again for tuning in. Remember, you can go back and listen to all of our shows anytime you want to get all the wonderful information. You'll see MJ there back in December, and she did gave some great information about angels. And if you want to connect the two, how all the things that Mary Jo talked about angels, connect them with what Stephen, how he uses them in his healing practice. And also, it doesn't, I just do want to say this, you don't have to be on a table to have healing. You can be sitting in a chair, kneeling on a stool, or whatever to get healing. But thank you so much for tuning in to Spiritually Speaking today. Don't forget to go to quintessence.com and look at the events page and see what's going on. Okay? Thanks, everybody, and have a blessed afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Want a joyous, fulfilling life? Do what the fulfilled do. Be grateful for the things you have. Give freely from your heart. Be of service to others. Leave ego behind and let Spirit fearlessly guide you to your highest and best self. And most of all, choose it for yourself and believe that you already have it. Thank you for tuning in to Spiritually Speaking. We'll see you next week. Namaste. To learn more about Dee Dee Lovejoy, tune into www.oilsandstones.com.